ಪರಿವರ್ತಿಸುವುದರಲ್ಲಿ BV ಅಪ್ರತಿಭೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಫಲವಾಗಿ ಲಾಭದಾಯಕವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಬಹಳ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಜನ ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೆರಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರಿಚಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು 20 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ದೂರದ ಹಳ್ಳಿ. ಬೇಗ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಂದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಅವ್ರ 10ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವರು PUC ಮುಗಿಸಿದಾಗ ಆಮೇಲೆ BSc ಆಮೇಲೆ MSc. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಬಹಳ ಹಂಬಲ್ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಆದ್ರೂ ಇವತ್ತೂ ಆ ವಿನಮ್ರತೆ ಇದೆ.
brother who was going to college, he wanted to, something is happening. Volume. So no hostel would actually take me. In fact, they approached this Vidyarthi Mandiram as well at that time. And because I was only 10 years, no hostel would take me, neither national high school hostel or Vidyarthi Mandiram or any other hostel. So we made a small room in Surveyor Street, which is very close to the Gandhi Bazaar main area, not very far.
Just opposite National College.
Yeah, it's right across National College. In fact, it so happens that the people who have rented the room for us, their son is a monk in Ramakrishna Ashram, Mahesh ji. So we rented a room, a small room, 8 by 8 room. Initially, the two of us were there, and then later on, my younger brother also joined. All of us stayed in the small 8 by 8 room, and we used to cook our food. My brother used to cook the food initially. So my job was to go to market, get milk in the morning, and then come back, take a basket, and then he used to give me 25 paise. And my job is to get 3 things for the 25 paise. So 3 things are, one is a vegetable, other one is curry leaves, and the third one is lemon. So no matter what, the money is fixed, 25 paise, and the 3 items are fixed. No matter what, I have to negotiate and get these 3 items in the 25 paise. So if I look back, as I started to grow, my negotiation skills started when I was in the high school, right? So these are little things that has a long-term impact on your life, long-term impact. So the point I'm trying to make here is learning the street smartness. So you all have the opportunity to go and shop vegetables for this hostel, for this Vidyarthi Mandiram, right? So you have so much money and you have to bring so many vegetables. If you can learn that skill of negotiation and bringing the maximum for your institution, because you want to do everything good for where you are. Because today you want to do for your institution, right? Tomorrow, the company that you work for, you want to do the best. Or the college that you go for, you want to do the best. Or the family that you come from, you want to do the best. So this concept of learning these skills and doing the best for where you come from will have a huge impact in the long term. So just try next time when you go for shopping. Try to negotiate and get the best from the seller and save a little money. It doesn't matter how much it is. Save a little bit so that the institution benefits from that. Okay, so these are skills that makes you street smart. So the street smartness is very important because not all of us are born intelligent. Not all of us can pass a JEE to go to IIT. Not all of us have the ability to go into even engineering. But that should not stop you from succeeding in life. Both are, I'm trying to basically say, both are not connected. Education in the top institution alone is not the one that's going to make you successful. And let me tell you why. If you go to a top institution, it is good. If you can make it, it's good. If you cannot make it, you don't need to regret that you did not make it, right? So if you go from a top institution, your very first job becomes very easy. The doors just open up. If you don't come from a top institution, you have to work hard. You have to struggle. And I'll take you through what I did because I did not come from a top institution. You have to work through that. And that actually makes you even a stronger person. And if you have these skills, the street smartness skills, it makes you even stronger. But once you get the job, right, the person who comes from the good institute, maybe he or she will get this great job with a great salary. Don't ever feel jealous. If you are here and the other person is there, don't ever feel jealous. Keep working hard because that is where you are. Whatever that is handed to you, work hard, work smart, and then keep raising. I can guarantee you, 99% I can guarantee you, if you do that, I'll teach you some small lessons, what those things are that actually make this person better compared to even this one. Okay, so when you get to equal, or even if you're low and the person is here, by working hard, by working smart, you can get to this level, and very soon you start getting better and better. Got it? So once you reach certain level, both of you, nobody is going to question, did you come from IIT, or did you come from USC? Did you come from this college, that college? Did you come from Stanford University? Nobody is going to ask. Are you delivering the best for the company that you work for? Understand? So this has to be embedded in your mind. That's why I'm saying it starts from here. It starts from today. Whatever you do it with the intention that I want my institution to do well. Right? This place gives you an incredible atmosphere here. Incredible atmosphere.
If possible, you can mix Kannada and Hindi.
Okay,
If
sorry.
possible.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ?
Yes. ನಾಲ್ಕು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. Who don't understand Kannada?
Who doesn't understand Kannada? Oh, he doesn't.
One, right? One more.
Okay.
Only two.
So two people don't understand. So it's not fair for me to speak in Kannada because they won't understand. You can understand a little bit or no?
I-
Okay. You can understand a little bit? Where are you from? Bihar. And where are you from?
I'm from Bihar.
Bihar. Very good. Excellent. I have several friends from Bihar. Some of the smartest people actually are from Bihar. So, did you get the point that I'm making? Right? The importance is to do the right and the best for the institution, and then your family, and then your state, and then your country. So if we put that in our mind, that becomes the foundation for everything that we want to do in our life. So I got my high school from Sheshadripuram High School. I used to live here. We used to cook our food. Just like you guys, I used to take the dabba to my school and go to Sheshadripuram High School for 3 years, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then 11th, I did not get the best of best grades. Because of that, I did not get admission into Basungudi National College. Because Basungudi National College was the star college at that time. And I did not get admission to Basungudi National College. So I ended up getting admission into Jayanagar National College. And so all these things are telling me that I need to work hard. So I kept doing that. Then I passed my pre-university and I was only 14 years. And I was too young to go for engineering. So then I ended up coming to Basungudi National College for BSc, which worked out good. I finished my BSc, and my hardest working culture in myself actually started in second BSc. That was the first turning point of my life. In fact, I used to stay in the library in the Basungudi. I don't know how many of you have seen. So that library was built. I was like the last one to stay in the library till 9 p.m. The security guard became a good friend of mine during the process, because there used to be nobody in the entire library with all the lights on. And I was the only student who used to sit in the library till 9 p.m. until he finishes. Because that gave me an opportunity to offset my lack of skills or lack of whatever. Because I came from a village, I didn't know how to speak English. I did not know a lot of things, right? So I had to make up for all that. So that hard work helped me to get to slightly closer to the top performing people. So that actually, this hard work and knowing myself, the limitation that I have, that I need to catch up, continuously I need to catch up. So that's how eventually I then got into UECE to do my engineering, and I kept working hard, and I was probably, by the time I graduated, I was in the top 30, 35 students. I mean, we didn't have too many students. I was probably in the top 25 or something. I was not in the top 1 or 2, but I was in the top 25, 30. So, and then from there, I got admission into VJTI in Bombay. And at that time, this is in 1978, when I finished my engineering, I got a job with Kirloskar with a salary of 300 rupees per month. And I also got admission into VJTI, and VJTI was giving me 400 rupees scholarship. And they were also going to give me a college degree, a master's degree. So my mother, who was very, very, very particular about the son getting the education, she said, nothing doing, you're packing your stuff, you're going to Bombay. So hats off to my mother for several things. One, when I was age 10, she had the courage to send me to a city from a village. So Monday through Saturday, we used to be in the city. Saturday, I finished the half-day school, and then I go to the village, and then Sunday night I come back, because Monday I have to again go to the school. So that decision today, if we think of our own children who are 10 years, we will never let them go alone. Never will let them go alone. So getting this education is like the foundation, right? There is no question about it. Now, along with education, what else you need to do? I think that is the key thing. That's what helps you to transform. So what I did was, when I was doing my master's, I decided that in the summer, this is 79 summer, instead of coming back to Bangalore, I went to my professor and I said, Professor, I want to learn new things, some practical things. Help me get an internship in a company. So professor looked at me because he knew I was from Bangalore. And I don't know how many of you know how bad the weather in Bombay during summer. So he said, the weather here is crazy. This is not the place where you should be staying. You should just go back to Bangalore, relax, enjoy 3 months of air-conditioned weather in Bangalore, and come back in August for your third semester. I said, no, I want to learn. I want to understand new things. I want to get some practical knowledge. So we went through this iteration 3 or 4 times. Finally, he said, this guy is a crazy guy. He's not going to leave me. So he called up one of his students who had a small company called Bombay Electronics. And literally right in front of me, he said, I've got this student, he's a little crazy guy. He wants to work in Bombay during the summer. And I'm telling him to go to Bangalore and he's not listening to me. So why don't you talk to him? So that entrepreneur, CEO, he said, yeah, please send him. So if I reflect back myself today, if let's say my professor calls me and then says, I've got a crazy guy in front of me, he wants an internship. What goes on in my mind as an employer? Can anyone think of what goes on in your mind? Basically, here is a student who is very dedicated. He seems to be hardworking, right? He doesn't want to just enjoy life. He wants to do something. I would welcome such kind of students. And I think that's exactly what was going on in that man's mind. That's why he said, send him to me immediately. So I went to him, and then it took me as an internship, and that's what actually changed my entire career after that. Because all the things that I learned is what was applicable in my next part of the life. So the point here is, I don't know if you understand this word called perseverance. Perseverance is basically not giving up.
Nirantara prayatna.
Nirantara prayatna. Very good, thank you. Perseverance is not giving up. And it pays off. Okay, so of course, this hard work, the street smartness, all of these things, now this is the foundation, right? So now comes your ability to learn new things, your interest to learn new things continuously. Don't ever give up on that. Don't ever think I've learned everything. Never, never we have learned everything. Even after 40 years of working at my age, every day I'm learning. When I talk to students like yourself, I learn. When I have conversation with others, I learn. When I read, I learn. So that is a constant thing, learning from people, learning from reading, learning from these various scripts. Every day you learn. So perseverance is what gets you. And that's what makes you the difference between you and these other people. Got it? So once you get this perseverance, what is needed is consistency. So you cannot, what is consistency in Kannada? Kannada consistency andre ಏನು?
Sama consistency is
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ 60 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೇಫ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಖಾಲಿ ರೋಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹಾರ್ಸ್ ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಅದ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ our behavior has to be consistent, right? So when, for the example that you can take is, if let's say I want to lose weight, I'm overweight, I want to lose weight, I want to go to a gym, or I want to do yoga to reduce my weight. If you do yoga for 1 month, or if you go to a gym for 1 month, do you think you will reduce your weight? You will not. You have to consistently keep doing. In fact, if you give up, you'll actually become fatter. Right? So the consistency in life is very important. So this is the second one. Perseverance, consistency. And the third important thing is self-driven, meaning nobody should be telling you. Like when I went to my professor that I need to get this internship job, nobody was telling me that I should get this. So that is that self-driven. So this applies even for you, even now. Before you go to school, before you go to college, right? You read up what you're going to learn ahead of time. How many of you have done that? If the teacher is going to teach a subject today, you read up and then you go. Can anyone tell me what's going to happen?
You will understand better
You'll understand better. Why?
because we have already learned that day before.
Correct. Correct. So that's self-driven. Right? So life is like that. Every part of your life, just like how we go and eat, nobody is going to tell us to eat. That's self-driven. But we should apply the same thing to everything that we do in our life. So, I told you earlier, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that will help you. If someone is here and we are here, how do we get to this and beyond? Is this CPS formula. CPS is consistency, perseverance, and self-driven. Okay, so that is what, if you go look at a lot of successful people, and if you listen to them, see, these are some of the things you will never get to know when you read in public. You will never get to know. But if you listen to some of their speeches, if you listen to some of their interviews, somewhere along you actually start getting. But if you distill the speeches, the talks and all that, you will see this foundation or the fundamental, which is the CPS, consistency, being consistency in life. So we do these OSAT schools. It's very hard to build these schools, right? The schools that we build is very, very hard because we go look at a school and there is a lot of politics in the village. Everybody is like fighting. But the students need that school. So we have to go resolve those issues. Somebody owns the land and they don't want to give up the land. So we have to go figure out how to solve these problems, right? So based on all these factors, we have come up with a methodology, a process. And that's what is helping us to get to 75 schools. And by the end of next year, we would do 100 schools. We could have just run away from solving this problem 15 years ago. We said no. And we could have just done maybe 5 schools and run away from it. No, this is a real problem for children. How many of you went to government schools in villages? Wow, very good. Have you visited these government schools anytime when you have gone back to your villages? Is the condition of the school okay or not good? Good? It's decent? Anybody's school has run down?
Please raise your hand if you are not. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರಾ?
ಹೇಳು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳು.
ಮೊದಲು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಇವಾಗ
ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಸರಿಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಈಗ ಕೇಳೋರು ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಬರೋರು ನಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಎದುರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇನ್ನ ಕೆಳಗಡೆನೆ ಇದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆತರ. ಸೊ ಬರೋ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೊದ್ಲು ತರ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೋದು.
ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ಅದೇ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್
ಅದೇನಾದ್ರು ಈ ರೂಫ್ ಗೀಫ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕಿತ್ತೋಗಿದ್ಯಾ? ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಿತ್ತೋಗಿದೆ.
ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಹೇಳು? ಭುವನೇಶ್ವರ್. ಭುವನೇಶ್ವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳು.
ನಿಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಒಂದೇ ಟೀಚರ್ 6 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್
ಎಲ್ಲ
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ
ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್. ಯಾವ ನಿಮ್ದು? So this is the state of affair in many of the government schools. In fact, the ones that we touch are even worse than that. The whole school building is falling apart. The roof is falling apart. Like students are sitting, and then you will see the ceiling falling, right? A wall falling. Which parent will send their children to a school like that? Allah? Which parent will send? So that is where we go intervene and go build beautiful schools. Maybe someday you can share the pictures of some of the schools that we have built. So that is consistency. Right? So I remember I was telling you, I was sitting in the library, and that's what I learned, that hard work is what is going to push me to the next level compared to the other smart classmates that I had. Because I'm not as smart to digest what the teacher is saying in the class. But if I don't work hard, I can never get to that level. So that is consistency. You have to do this day in, day out, every day, years. And that characteristic, that behavior will last for you for a long time. Second is the perseverance. Perseverance ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ? ನಿರಂತರ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ. Perseverance is, there are a lot of hurdles in life. Has anyone faced any hurdles in your life? ಕಷ್ಟ, ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ.
ಮಾತಾಡಿ
ಹೇಳಿ, ಹೇಳು ಬರೀ. ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳು. ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೇಡ್, ಯಾವ ಇದು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಯಾವ ಊರು? ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು.
ಸಂಜು ಅಂತ.
ಸಂಜು, ಸಂಜಯ್ಗೆ ಸಂಜುನಾ? ಸಂಜೋಬ್
ಇಲ್ಲ,
ಸಂಜುನೇ, ಮಂಜು ತರ ಸಂಜು. ಗುಡ್.
ನಾನು ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಗೋಕಾಕ್ ತಾಲೂಕಿಂದ ಇರೋದು. ಇವಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಬಿಕಾಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಊರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು 405 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 4 to 5 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್. ಮಳೆಯೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಾಗ
ಇದರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್, ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಒಂದು 9 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಡೈಲಿ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇಂದ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರಸ್ತೆ ಇದಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಮಳೆಯಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಡ್ಗಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡು ಅವಾಗ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ನೀನು ಅಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಗೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಹೇಗೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಓದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಆದ್ರೆ ನನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ
ಆತರ. So they never gave up. Did you guys understand what he said? Did you understand? So basically what he said was to go from his village to the school is almost 5 kilometers, and it's a mud road, and the days when it rains, you cannot even go in your bike. So all these are obstacles that is testing you to see whether you will still go or not. So there are hundreds of reasons as to why you don't want to do it, but there is only one reason why you want to do it. Yaro neena bare hela.
ಉಮ್ರಾನ್
ಸರ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಉಮ್ರಾನ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಬೀದರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ವಿಜಯ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಬಿಕಾಮ್?
ಹಾ ಸರ್,
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
ಓದಿದ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 7 years ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಂದೆ ಸರ್.
ವಾವ್.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗ 13 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮನೆ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್.
ಹಾ ಹೌದು, ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ NGO ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಸೋಕೇರಿನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 years ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಂಗೊಬ್ರು ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಟೋಟಲ್
ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸರ್ಗೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಅವರು ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ ಅವರೇ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಬರ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಓದಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ವೆಕೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ದಿದೆ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ವೆಕೇಶನ್ 1 month 2 months 1 month ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಂದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತಿರೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಓದಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಅವ್ರ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಾನೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Not able to.
See, he has come from Bidar, and that is a Munaba, that's a backward district.
Correct.
Very backward district.
Correct.
And family background is also uneducated.
Wow.
But somehow he was caught, or he caught the idea.
He kept that goal in mind.
Yes.
His goal is he wants to come.
He wants to come up.
That is that perseverance.
Pursue.
Not giving up. Because there are 100 people, 100 things that are coming in your along the way as an obstacle. And you said, no, I'll keep going. The only goal is that. That is perseverance. So what is the difference between consistency and perseverance? Anybody? Consistency andre ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಪರ್ಸಿವರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಡದಿರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಏನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಪರ್ಸಿವರೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ? If you think of in your own life today, what is consistency? What is perseverance? Anybody? Yes.
In our daily life, we have to target our daily goals, and that we perform daily basis and achieve that daily goal. That is the consistency.
Exactly.
And perseverance means is the determined to goals that you fix at at moments that you want to achieve it by this daily target that you achieve in a day, and it's a main thing that you want to do. That's is perseverance. That is thinking in a mind. That's idea that is planted in a mind for working for that is perseverance about that.
Yeah. And people will be telling you, you're no, why do you want to do this? No waste of time.
This is a mindset you have to create about strongly rigid about that idea.
Correct.
And not deviated from strictly follow this your idea and your determination that you determine for that goal is the perseverance.
Exactly. Anyone else? It's very good. You didn't tell your name. You didn't tell what grade. You didn't tell.
My name is Satyaprakash. I am first year.
See, that is consistency. Right? Consistency. Yes. Now tell me.
My name is Satyaprakash, and I'm studying in first year engineering student, and my branch is robotics engineering.
Which engineering college?
BI Bangalore
Institute of Technology. So you came all the way from Patna. Very nice. That's all. Anyone else? Difference between persistence and consistency in your own lives.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿ, ಧೈರ್ಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. This is the opportunity. This is what is called communication skills. Because ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರೆಲ್ಲ everybody is same. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So I'll tell you a joke. Actually not a joke. I'll tell you a reality. Very first time when I went to America, I also could not speak English properly, and I also had lot of accent because my mother tongue is Kannada, and pretty much all through my engineering, I was speaking to all my classmates in Kannada, and a lot of my professors, especially National College, they also used to teach, even though it's an English medium, they'll still teach you in Kannada. That's the way you understand, right? So I go to America, and we had 2-3 Americans in our group, and then there was one other Indian also in the group, and he was from a different state. So in India, even when a person is from a different state, and by the way, I don't know Hindi. So what is the common language between me and the other person? English. So we both are talking in English. And this American guy who was sitting over there, he turns to us and he says, "You guys, you should speak in English. You should not speak in your language." And we are speaking in English. So we try to explain to him, "No, we are speaking. No, you are speaking in your language." Then we try to explain, look, he speaks a different language. I speak a different language. I don't understand what he speaks. He doesn't understand what I speak. So we have to speak in English. Really? Tell me more about it. Why is it like this? Is this a dialect? So, but the dialect, you know what is a dialect? The dialect is, it does not have the script. So, for example, Tulu. How many of you speak Tulu? Tulu ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ script?
ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸರ್.
Tulu script ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಆಟು ಅಮ್ ತನಕ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ತುಳು ಬರಿಬೋದಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಇಂದ
ಅಮ್ ತನಕ
ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ಈಗ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಡೆವಲಪ್
Okay.
2 years.
But otherwise it is not there.
No.
So you have to know Kannada. Right? So that's a dialect. So what about Konkani? Anybody Konkani? Hey, you know both Tulu and Konkani.
There is no script, sir.
That's nice. Which script they use? Kannada. But Konkani is spoken in 3 different states. Konkani is spoken in Karnataka, Konkani is spoken in Goa, Konkani is spoken in
Kerala.
Maharashtra.
Kerala also.
Kerala, to some extent. Okay. So what do people in Maharashtra do?
Hindi.
For them it's Marathi. So Konkani doesn't have a script. Right? So that's what he said. He said, "Oh, so you guys, you have different dialect?" So China, by the way, has only one language. But they have hundreds of dialects. Okay. But if they want to communicate, all that they do is they just write. Because the writing is the same. Then people will understand. Right? So that is why the Chinese people, even after so many years of interacting with America and all, very few of them have managed to actually get to higher ranks in America. Very few of them. I mean, there are people who have succeeded, but that's a very small percentage of people. Whereas Indians are naturally gifted because we don't have a common language. The only way we can communicate is through English. So that's what gives us the ability to learn English. Now, once you learn, then you just keep improving. I mean, you guys speak far, 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 far superior compared to how I used to speak English. I did not even know grammar properly. Right? So then it's a matter of just learning. You just keep watching others, you keep reading, and then you pick up. You guys got it? So that's how bad my English was. When I was talking to a colleague of mine in English, this American thought I was speaking in local language, in our language. So what was I talking about? Yeah. So consistency and perseverance. Okay. Now, what is self-driven? Anybody?
Self-motivated.
Yeah.
ಕಿರಣ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ BMS ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡ್ರಿವನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನಮಗ್ ನಾವೇ ಒಂದು ಏಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಯಾವ್ದೇ ಕಡೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ನಮಗ್ ನಾವೇ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು.
Very good. So in your hostel, what would be a self-driven thing? Let's take an example. What would be a self-driven thing? What time you have to get up? What time you have to get up? 5 o'clock. So Swamiji has to come and wake you up?
I am there to only punish.
So, you have to wake up at 5 o'clock. On your own, how many of you wake up? Nice.
On your own ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇ
ನೀವೇ
ಗಂಟೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ
ಗಂಟೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, let's be truthful. It's okay.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong because you're all children, you're all students. That's the way we are all.
We're all understanding what's happening.
So, if you can get to the stage where if you believe getting up at 5 o'clock is actually good for you, right? Why would you get up at 5? Or why would you not get up at 5? You think, man, I'm having a deep sleep. And these guys, they just wake me up, take me to a prayer, right? These guys don't have anything else to do. And look at me, I'm up from 5 a.m. till 10:30 and I have exams next week. I have to study for that, right? This is what is going on in your mind. Instead, if you think, hey, getting up at 5 is actually good because mind is fresh at that time. And if I can do a little bit of exercise, some yoga, some prayer, your energy that you absorb from the nature actually enhances you. It makes you even better. Ask my uncle what time I get up and what I do in the morning.
He gets up at 4:30 in the morning, and his interest is not only his work, but also his personal life. So he improves by doing, learning Vedas from 4:30 to 5:30. Then take some rest, and 6 to 7 o'clock, 7:30, he does yoga abhyasa.
Yeah.
And 7 to 7:30, he goes for tennis.
Yeah.
Comes back at 9 o'clock. And then by 10 o'clock, he is in the office.
Is it
And
ready?
in between, he takes phone calls from India. So really, he could as well sit and enjoy because he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to work. He has all the people he wants. He has all the friends he wants. And he has an old man like me. So he doesn't need anything, right? But still, he has that determination or that plan to keep himself as best as he can. And what is it? What did he say? Every time you strive to do your best with self-motivation.
That's it.
Self-motivation, what you said is correct. That is, it has to come from within you.
Till you.
Within you. It shouldn't come from somebody telling you, oh, you get up at 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
You see, you have to form in your own mind, why do I get up at 5
So
o'clock?
if you believe that getting up at 5 is actually good for you, and you start experiencing that, then automatically nobody needs to tell you. Nobody needs to tell you, right? It's just a simple example of a self-driven. So we can take every aspect of life, but if you apply these 3 principles, consistency, perseverance, and self-driven. Arthaita. So if you apply this, I will guarantee you, every one of you will do extremely well in your life. Because all your rest of the things, your education, your communication skills, your way how you can deal with people, your negotiation skills, right? Every aspect, the street smartness, everything will start falling in place. And what does that do? When you get all these skills, it makes you a better, smarter person. But the one thing that you should not forget, sit down. When you get to that level, don't become arrogant. Because you got these skills, you now seems to be more powerful, stronger than lots of others. lot of people get this arrogance. A lot of people become greedy.
Durahankara.
Durahankara, durase.
Duras.
Durahankara, durase. So this is where, if you believe, once again, that learning is eternal, learning is something that I need to be doing. At any point of time, I don't know everything in life. Every day I'm learning. So I tell my employees, when you get up in the morning, come to office and go back in the evening, make sure you have learned something new and you have become a better person. Because these ups and downs of life, have you read in newspapers how the layoffs are happening? Layoffs means people are losing jobs. Right now, a lot of companies are laying off people because the economy is going through a little bit of a downturn. So if you got that arrogance, that greed, and stop learning, it will be very hard for you when you lose the job. It will be very hard for you to find a job. Whereas if you follow these principles that we talked about, first of all, you may not even get laid off. Even if you get laid off, for whatever reason, maybe the company shut down, you'll be the first one to get the job. Because you will stand out compared to everyone else. Right? So same thing here, every day, what did I learn? Just make a note. Just make a simple note. What did I learn new today? Okay. So these skills will help you. Huh?
CPS, I told them.
CPS, consistency.
Consistency.
Once again.
Persistence.
Yeah.
And self-motivation.
Yeah.
And
So I have a nephew, his brother's son, who also comes from a village. And he, during this trip, he admitted that he wants to improve his communication skills. His communication skills is on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably say 3. And he knows that. See, the beauty is he knows his communication skill is weak. Right? We can laugh at him and say, you cannot speak properly. No. First of all, we didn't do that. Secondly, that's why he came to us. He came to me and said, can you help me improve my communication skills? So I said, let's do this. Every day, I will give you a topic. And you have to write a one-pager on the topic. Okay. You have to study, you have to learn, and if you know the answer, and these are simple things. Like I asked him a question, what are the advantages and disadvantages of living in the house versus living in the house with the family versus living by yourself along with your friends? So beautifully he highlighted what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of living in the house, what are the advantages of living by yourself, what are the disadvantages of living by yourself, right? So now I have given him a homework. I've given him a new homework yesterday. I said, write an essay, 200 words and 3 paragraphs of the best vacation that you had in your life or the best thing that you did in your life. So now he's writing. So these are things that will help you. And if you have one of you act as a mentor to the other, you don't need someone like me all the time, right? If you do this, you tell your neighbor, hey, give me a topic that I can write. And then you share with multiple people. So this is what will help you to improve your communication skills. And communication skills in today's world is a must. There is no choice for any of us. If we don't communicate, then what happens is when you are in a group, even though you have all the knowledge, the guy or the girl who can speak better than you will stand up and get the attention of the leader. So, developing this communication skills, developing this critical, what is called as critical thinking. Critical thinking means asking questions. That's why I'm asking all of you. Ask questions because we are all in the same boat right now. Ask questions. When you ask questions, your mind is thinking, it doesn't matter how simple, how easy that question is. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to have the courage, get up and ask. Okay, now ask me some questions.
You're done with your talk?
Huh?
You have done with your talk?
Yes, I'm done with my talk. So you asked me to sing a song. I will sing a song praising our state. It's a state song. I'll just do 2 lines because my voice has not recovered from the cough that I had 2 weeks ago. And those of you who know this song, please join me. The song is Jagadeesh. Bharata? Eshtarak Bharata. Wow. Good. So start right now. 1, 2, 3. ಜೋಗದ ಸಿರಿ ಬೆಳಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಗೆಯತೆನೆ ಬಳುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ್ಯಾದ್ರಿಯಲೋ ಹದದಿರೆವು ತುಂಗದ ನಿಲುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರಿದ್ವರ್ಣವನವೇ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ತಾಯಿ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ನಿನಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ತಾಯಿ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ಜೋಗದ ಸಿರಿ ಬೆಳಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಗೆಯತೆನೆ ಬಳುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ್ಯಾದ್ರಿಯಲೋ ಹದದಿರೆವು ತುಂಗದ ನಿಲುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರಿದ್ವರ್ಣವನವೇ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ನಿನಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ತಾಯಿ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ನಿನಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ. Okay. Questions time.
Today, how much you have earned? What is your worth? There is no income tax.
What is my worth?
Yes.
My worth is the network of the people that I have. That is the
Please
worth.
express it in number so that our boys can understand. It's a very figurative way you have expressed.
Very nice.
We are not that.
So what I do, the beautiful question actually. So the way I run my life is I have this concept called circles of life. Vijay Simha actually knows this. Vijay Simha is an alumni of Vidyarthi Mandiram. Stand up, Vijay Simha. So Vijay Simha lives with me in America. Come.
Small introduction.
So Vijay Simha is
one of the pet student of Vishnu Mehananji Maharaj. Highly talented, successful, and
so let me give you an example of persistence and consistency and self-driven about Vijay Simha. And by the way, I've never discussed this with the CPS strategy. You're hearing for the first time, right?
Yes.
I've never told you that. So Vijay Simha, so we do this trekking in the town where we live, and it is at 2,200 feet elevation trekking, which is quite hard, right? You start from almost 0 level, and then you hike up to 2,200 feet. And initially, the top portion of the trekking is almost like this. It's like almost 20 degrees. It makes it very, very hard, 20 degrees. So Vijay Simha, he said, hey, I want to join trekking with you. He said, okay, come on up. So we took him, and when coming down, he noticed that his knee started to hurt. He actually had tremendous difficulty coming down. So he said, okay, maybe, maybe I didn't stretch properly. Maybe I did not do something right. And I also gave him some tips. You should do some yoga, so stretch your legs before you come, and maybe you won't have this experience, because we didn't know what the problem was. So second day, he came, stretched, came up all the way. Again, while going down, he started to experience this knee problem. So if it were to be anyone else, he would have probably given up. So he said, no, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next week. So come next week, next Saturday, we hike 2 days in a row, Saturday and Sunday. So next week he comes, and he comes with a stick, right? First time you came with a stick. So he came with a stick to see if that's going to help. And to some extent it helped. The stick actually helped. And then he started to do that more regularly. And I think he read up on YouTube, all that. And then he also figured out a knee cap that he could actually use to cover the knees. And today, first of all, nobody tells him to come up, because he comes up on his own at 7 a.m. And on many days at 7 a.m. in the region where we stay, the temperature could be 0 degrees. Literally, it is 0. You have to wear gloves.
Which area?
California. California, Northern California. Northern California is always colder than Southern California. Southern California is Los Angeles. Northern California is San Francisco, near San Francisco. So 7 a.m. is when we normally start the hike. And at 7 a.m., the temperature could be almost 0 degrees. That is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And you have to cover up yourself and then come. And we leave at 7, and he actually starts at 7:20, and he reaches ahead of us today. He can reach the top even before we do. So he's like running in the middle, he walks fast, right? And uncle has seen him.
Yeah.
And by the way, this uncle is another great example. He's 88 years. And he hikes with us. It's 2,200 feet, right? That's consistency and perseverance, not giving up when he found these issues. So explain now, how did you follow the consistency, perseverance in your life?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very difficult standard to follow through to talk after you, Jagadish. But basically, I'd say, just believing in yourself, right? Believing in yourself and not giving up. Try different things. Biking helped for me, in this situation. That's just an example. But try different things. Believe in yourself. Consult with the people that you sort of trust. And of course, I have the good fortune of having a mentor and a guide like Jagadish. So I'll speak a few words about him, right? So I've known him for 30 years or more. He's such a big believer of Swami Vivekananda. I was telling Varun also earlier. He has named his children on the middle name of Swamiji. 2 boys, Kartik, Anand Jagadish, and Akshay Vivek Jagadish. So that to me is the biggest attribution and belief, show of trust and faith. So he's such a nice man, and absolutely humble to the core. And anyone can go to him, talk to him. He will help the best extent that he can, without really judging the other person. So he has talked about consistency, CPS formula. That's great. But one key thing to keep is don't try to judge anyone else, because you don't know, what that other person is. Judge ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ decide ಮಾಡೋದು. ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ biases ಇದೆ inbuilt. We all have, the moment we see somebody, how they are dressed, how they look, we think, oh, this person is probably like that. Probably he or she may do like this or do that, and we tend to fall into that bias very quickly. And our reactions, our face shows that bias. So don't try to sort of, so ಅವರಿಂದ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. There are so many things. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ the way he packages market ಅದು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ there's no other person has come across that's better. And of course, as a mentor and a guide and a tutor, the person, he will hold hands for anybody and teach them. He's very open to be approachable and you can ask him any questions. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ನೀರು ತಿಂಡಿ ಊಟ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪಂಚೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ, ನಂದೇ ಪಂಚೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So he's so kind of free. He'll make it completely comfortable and then talk to you. So that he's helping you in that process, right? So none experience ashte. I mean, CPS, I will say just believe in yourself, and don't give up. Have good mentors, guides, and people, your family as a background. Keep doing that, and success at the end of the day, it's what you make out of it. For you, success may mean something else. For somebody else, success is something else. So it's really kind of, you could be successful today where you are. The fact that you are here doing, BCom, second year, completing the graduation, taking the job, even completing, getting here to SRVM, that itself is a big milestone. That could be a success. Coming out of it, contributing it back to help other people sort of, move well, as the institution progresses. That's a mark of success. So, it's what you make of it, and life is a long journey. Nothing is going to happen immediately. You have to have a lot of patience. So to CPS, I'll just have patience, So.
Very nice, very nice. So let me take Swamiji's question of the network. And I said the number of people that I deal with on a regular basis. So what I've done, if possible, if you can adapt a concept like that. So the concept that I have adapted is circles of life. So essentially, every different things that I do is like a circle. And many of these circles is what forms my life. So I have 11 things, or 11 circles that I pretty much have in my life. So one is my professional circle, right? Obviously, I have to deal with work, my job that I do, the people that I interact with, right? That's the professional. The second one is the hiking circle. So people like Vijay Siman, lots of others that I hike with. The third is my tennis circle, because I play tennis, as Uncle was saying. I play tennis very regularly. So I have a circle of friends that I play tennis with. The fourth is the spiritual circle. So we do the chanting, and there are few people who may overlap between hiking, like Vijay Sima will overlap in the hiking circle, and he will also overlap in the spiritual circle because we do chanting, Veda chanting regularly, right? So that's the spiritual circle. Fifth is the music circle, because I'm very interested in music, so I interact with lots of people in music. The sixth one is, it's an incubator that we have called FalconX. So that has lots of my partners, my companies, and so on and so forth. Seventh is the nonprofits, like what Varun was talking about, which is many of these nonprofits that I work with. I do this OSAT, I do Akshay Patra, where we do this midday meals. I do my college scholarship program, and I do this Shankara Cancer Foundation. So there's a bunch of these nonprofits, and then 2 of them in the US. So because of that, I interact with a lot of people. And old friends from college. I'm in touch with many of my old friends, both from BSc and engineering and all that. The next one is I teach at various universities. So because of this teaching, I'm in touch with lots of professors, lots of students like yourself, because every college I go, I play like squash or badminton and those kind of things. So I kind of build a link with all these people. Travel friends. So we travel a lot. So we have lots of friends that we travel together. And lastly, family circle, right? So you build your own good set of family people that you interact with. So this is how I have classified my life. Circles of life. And as of now, I have about 11 circles. And in this, some people will be added and some people may be deleted over a period of time. That's the law of nature. Because not all my classmates I'm in touch with. Right? So the ones that are very close to you, those are the ones you are in touch with. So even hiking, constantly we are adding new people and we may be deleting some people. So if you can classify how your life and draw these circles and put the people in these circles, that is what your net worth. That's what I believe the net worth is. Any other questions? Good question, Swamiji. Yes. Yes.
You said you did BSc National College. Sir.
Yes.
After doing BSc, how did you join for engineering?
How did I go for engineering? Because remember I told you, I always wanted to do engineering. And because my age, I was 14 years when I passed my PUC. So I was like not fully qualified from an age point of view. And I then applied for engineering and I ended up getting into engineering. So back then, the engineering was 5 years. Because I did my BSc, my engineering became 4 years. So 71, 74, I did BSc. 74, 78, I did B. And 78, 80, I did my master's. So you could do that too. If you want, you can finish your BCom, and you're doing BCom, right? Yeah, you can do CA, for example, Chartered Accountancy, or you can do MCom, or you can do PhD in accounting or whatever. Yeah. That's how I did. Good question. Anyone else? Any other question? Yes.
So you were involved in so many activities such as music, sports, spirituality, and so many activities. How could you be consistent with so many activities at once?
So
various fields and different kinds of totally different things.
correct. So there are 18 hours a day. 6 hours is what you sleep. And you have to figure out how you can divide that time. And not all of them are every day, right? So like hiking, we don't do every day. If I do tennis every day, I don't do hiking every day. So hiking is like a weekend activity. Tennis is like a weekday activity. And teaching is like once or twice a year, right? So how you divide your time, and all of us have this mindset that we actually waste a lot of time. So what people who manage their time, what they do, they make it as efficient as possible. I mean, mind at the end of the day, it needs some entertainment, right? You cannot be just continuously doing your work related or something like that. It requires some entertainment. Allocate some time for entertainment. And whatever you do that. If you allocate 1 hour for music, do that 1 hour in a dedicated way, right? Don't do like haphazard. You allocate 1 hour and you spend 15 minutes and then the remaining 45 minutes you just goof around. It doesn't help. Or you allocate only 15 minutes and then just do it sincerely. So this time management is a very important aspect of life. As you grow in your career, in your life to the next level, managing your time is very, very, very essential. And, kudos to this organization, like getting up at 5 a.m., following that discipline. And that means when you have to go for a meeting, and if the meeting is at 12 o'clock, your mind should tell that I should be there 2 minutes before. I should not be there 5 minutes later. Right? So these things, all this discipline, especially when you grow in your life, when you become a leader, without your knowledge, people will be observing you. People will be watching you. How does my If you as a boss, you are late for every meeting, that becomes the habit. Right? And if you are on time, everybody will show up on time. So the time management is very critical. Very good question.
I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Prakhar Agrawal.
Prakhar?
Prakhar Agrawal.
Agrawal, yes.
I'm a second year BE student and graduate Institute of Technology,
VIT.
Computer Science with Engineering. I'm from Bihar.
Fantastic. Fantastic. VIT is one of the best colleges in Karnataka.
Next school project is going to be in Patna. I voted 2 people already.
VIT is becoming a very good college now, right? So in fact, the person who built that 2 apartments that have come up, he's from VIT.
So my name is Girish. I'm currently pursuing computer science and engineering in BMS college.
So you're doing engineering college.
Second year. So my question is, you told now that time management is very, very important. Even all of us know that time management is important, but even though we plan so much things, we couldn't able to follow them. So how to reach our goals? Like we will set goals every day, but we'll end up with like we won't do those things.
So what that means is, if you are not setting this time slots the way you can actually accomplish. So it's like, for example, in a company, when a company has to sell certain things, we have to set the expectation. If the expectation is set too high, and it's very difficult to achieve that, then you have failed. If the expectation is set very low, and you continuously every month you are beating that expectation, then also you are not setting the expectation properly, right? So setting that expectation and setting the time that is needed for that expectation is what you should do. So for example, if let's say you are preparing for your exam, you now have allocated 1 hour for math, right? And math is your weak subject. And then you realize 1 hour went by and you really have not finished what you're supposed to have finished. It happens, right? Because it has happened to me. Yeah, because I had the same problem at that time. So then what you have to do is you have to allocate more time, and somewhere you have to cut it, because somewhere you will be good. And maybe the place where you are good, you may not need to spend that 1 hour. Or maybe you are wasting your time somewhere else. And maybe you need to cut that time and give it to this one. So this is not a what we call as the frozen thing. So this time management is not frozen, meaning if I say 1 hour for math, 1 hour for physics, 1 hour for electrical engineering, it's not frozen. It depends on you. So you need to know what is easy for you, what is difficult for you, and accordingly you need to set the time. That is what is the real time management. It is not just about putting it on paper and then trying to follow and then not achieving it. It is about knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and then allocating the time appropriately to make the weaknesses to do well. So that's what it is. So in a company organization, if let's say I need to achieve 5 crore rupees revenue, right? And I'm watching, and there is no way I can achieve 5 crore rupees. I cannot just go and blame or yell at someone. What is it that I need to do to help make that 5 crore happen? Maybe I don't have too many leads. Maybe I don't have too many salespeople. Maybe I don't have the right product, right? I need to understand what is the weakness that I have, and I need to fix that in order to get that 5 crore revenue. You see what I mean? So it's like that. So that's what we all need to know what is our strength, what is our weakness, and how do we apply the time management to make our weakness stronger for a period of time. If that is important to you, that is important, because for some people, math is not their core strength. So you need to decide, hey, this is not entering my head. Math is not where I need to spend the time. Maybe I should go into biology or medicine or something. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, every time when we hear this kind of speech, we'll get motivated, sir. This motivation will so continues for 3 to 4 days. But what to do for taking it for a long time? What will
We
Consistency.
just talked about consistency.
sir will means
How do you apply the consistency every day? It's already as simple as that. Consistency is not a 3-day thing. Consistency is an everyday thing for the rest of your life. So remember this.
I think his question is, BVJ won't be there every day. How do I get that
Motivation.
motivation? And that also has an answer in what he
No,
said.
ultimately, if you read that Swami Vivekananda quote outside, strength is within you. You need to awaken that strength. These things are not just written for the sake of writing, okay? This is real. This is absolutely the real thing that Swami Vivekananda has said. Have you read that quote outside? This is exactly what he says. The strength is within you. You need to awaken that strength. And that's why the formula I gave you is the CPS formula, to awaken that strength that you have within yourself. And if you don't do it, you are not awakening your strength. So there is a strength within you. We need to get that out. We were all like you, or even worse than that, right? When we were growing up, couldn't speak English like how confidently you're speaking. Very shy, coming from village, right? You're worried what people are going to think about you. Think of, right? I came at the age of 10 from a village into a city. All classmates of mine are all from the city. I'm the only one from the village. How should I be mentally, how intimidating it is for me? But that's the formula. That's the thing that what Swami Vivekananda said. Because it's within you. It's up to us how you want to strengthen or awaken that strength that you have. Brilliant. I mean, I was in the ashram the other day and I captured some of the other quotes from Swami Vivekananda. It's all applicable to our life. And read out some quotes for you. I don't know if you have seen these things. Okay, see this. This is a little spiritual angle, but the fact behind this is very, 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 it can apply to anything. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling the nature, external and internal. Right? So that means this is the divinity he's talking about, but think of it as a strength. So you have to apply this both from internal, right, constantly, and from external. Meaning when people are saying, no, as Vijay was saying, right, people form an opinion on you. You should not worry about it. Externally, people are judging you. You shouldn't worry just because somebody judges. Your goal is one. That's the goal that you want. This one, right? Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion, doctrines, or dogmas, or rituals, or books, or temples, or forms, and secondary details.
Are
So
all these are secondary.
are secondary details. Yeah. So when you read these quotes from great people like Swami Vivekananda, everyone has a beautiful, impactful message for us. This is for us, not for someone else, not for some spirituality perspective. What he's saying is for us, because he's basically saying, you have the strength, you have the divinity. When you have the divinity, do good to others if you can. I mean, don't be mean to others, right? If someone needs help, whatever, if you have to hold the hand and bring a person from this side to that, that's divinity. That's all. So it's within you, and do it. So that's why you were saying why I believe in Swami Vivekananda so much. Think of Swami Vivekananda. You must, I'm sure all of you have read his story, right? At such a young age, when he went to Chicago to give that speech, everybody was ridiculing him. Everybody was looking at him, judging, like what Vijay Sama said, judging him just because he was wearing a saffron cloth, right? And coming from India, and India was considered as a slave country because that is how the Britishers had made us. What is this guy going to tell? We know everything. But how did he turn that challenge into an opportunity? One man, right, was able to deliver a speech. Just by that speech, he turned the whole thing upside down. That's greatness. And that's the message we need to, it's the message we need to apply to ourselves. That's when you really can reach greater heights. So all this is, whatever I told you today is a small formula to things that he's teaching, that he's talking about. So you should look at the deeper meaning of what Swami Vivekananda is saying. That's why I take these pictures. Every time I come, I see some new quotes, new things, and I take these pictures. Because it inspires me. I'm not taking it just for the sake of it. Yes, sir.
How to overcome the lagging in subjects, sir?
Lagging in subject, how to work on it.
For example, when they are teaching second units, so I am still understanding the first one. So I forgot the second units, and still I work hard. At the end of hard work, I realized that it's not work, simply I wasted the time. So how to make it hard work beginning with results?
Very good question. So if you have a challenge in focusing, right? If you have a challenge in focusing, then my recommendation is start doing meditation for 10 minutes a day. You will see the difference. So what meditation does is it helps you to control your mind. And what I realized later on, much later, when I saw some of my classmates doing very well compared to me, because they read once and then they get it. And I have to read 3 times to get the same thing, or maybe 5 times to get the same thing. Right? Because I have to do a lot more hard work. And at some point of time, as he was saying, you run out of time because I'm not focusing. So if I don't have that skill like my classmate has, I need to figure out how to develop that skill. And the simplest of the skill is to do meditation. You know what meditation is? meditation basically means do nothing. Not just from the physical body point of view, but from the mind point of view. So your mind, when you sit for meditation, just observe today. You can go back to your room, just sit down, close your eyes, and do nothing. Right? What happens? First thing, your mind starts going. Oh, I have to finish this homework. Oh, what is going to be for dinner today? Oh, I haven't called my dad and mom. I need to call them. They may be worried about me. Right? Oh, it's already getting late. I need to sleep because I need to get up at 5 o'clock. This is how mind starts to wander. It happens to all of you, right?
Yes.
It happens to all of us. So then you have to bring that mind back into a steady state. So what you do at that time is you just chant some mantra, whatever mantra you feel comfortable, just like one line, and you just bring the mind back. So this will take about a week for you to get to a stage where I can just sit, close my eyes, and do nothing. And if something happens, so chant like I'll normally say Om Shivoham, something like that. So when I say that, then I'm alert. At that time, I bring my mind back. You do this for 7 days. Of course, consistency is important. It's not just a one-time thing or a 7 days thing. You do this, you will see the difference in yourself. Miracle will happen, and your ability to grasp, your ability to study, learn, and digest things dramatically improves. So this is the skill we need to develop compared to my classmates who somehow naturally have that skill. Some people are intelligent, some people are not intelligent. But that doesn't mean I'm bad. That's how I am. I'm going to learn these tools to get to that level or even better.
And not necessarily always the intelligent will be successful. They might lack some qualities to finally succeed.
They may not even get to that successful level.
I'll give you an
Which, by the way, is true.
I'll give you an example. Say in hostel, you can go now, second PUC Raga. So when we were in second PUC, one of our hostel mates. So the hostel, it was everybody knew when each student sleep. Some people at 12, some people at 3. There was only one ultimate guy who wanted to be a doctor. Doctor ultimate. Honest, honest, ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಅವನ್ನ ಪರಿಹಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. They used to make fun of it. So one day somebody went and told him, ಅಷ್ಟ್ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು? Why do you want to study so much? I mean, there is nothing to study that much. Nobody studies that much, right? Even the brightest of the guys will not study that much because people were mapping the number of hours to being smart, right?
Yeah.
Engineering seat ಸಿಕ್ತು. 7 times he finished the book. That was the talk, right? 7 times he finished physics, back and forth, and he got a good seat. So I'll have to finish 7 times. This was, you know what this person answered when people laughed at him? Very calmly, he said, "I am not as smart as you guys.
Yeah,
I know that. That's why I compensate that by hard work."
that's it.
That was the first time I got a very good lesson in my life. Whatever you do, you can't shortcut the hard work. That's one. Secondly, if you think you lack somewhere, hard work most of the times will get you to see or even beyond. And even the smartest guy, if he doesn't do hard work in the end, I don't think he will. So that was one very. And Shankar ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಣಾಂ ಆಶಾಸ್ತೆ ಫಲಸಿದ್ಧಿ ವಿಶೇಷತಃ ಅಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೇಶ ಕಾಲ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೋ ಇದೆ, ಸಹಕಾರಿಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್, ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಫಲಸಿದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಬೇರೆದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಹಕಾರಿಗಳಾಗ್ತದೆ.
Supporting.
Supporting.
They're all supporting.
ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಆಸೆ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಇರೋದು, that is ಸ್ವೇಚ್ಛೆ ಇರೋದು is very, very important. Right. So, well, and I have one question for that. So now I have this time. So, now when I grew up, I never heard about the stress word. All my, ಯಾರು ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. I mean, ಆ
Up
ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ
to 1990 or 1995.
ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವರ್ಡೇ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಡಿಕ್ಷನರಿ.
Stress.
ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಈಗ
Everybody is going through stress.
ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡೌನ್ MBBS ಓದೋರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಯರ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. 1 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ or 2 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾಮನ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಲೀಗ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ and they take medicines and all of that. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹುಡುಗರು when you get all the skills, when you become successful, this is the biggest challenge that you will get. But ನಾನು BVJ ಅವರನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. Very, very hectic life. I've seen him always alert, happy and giving out energy. When you are in the presence of some people, ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ರೆ you feel suddenly elevated ಅಲ್ವಾ? You feel more energy. That is what I feel when I am with him. How does he manage to keep his mind so calm and peaceful and be happy all the time?
I think happiness is, it's not the external happiness. That is happiness that is derived from materialistic aspect. Happiness is within yourself. And we all have to figure out, how do we get that happiness from within? So typically when outside of the things that we normally do, if you start giving to others in a meaningful way, whatever, in a meaningful, for somebody it may be time, for somebody it may be money, for somebody it may be something as helping at that moment. That satisfaction, that happiness that you get, it is absolutely priceless. So first, de-link the happiness that you need to get from this materialistic aspect. Completely you should de-link that, because materialistic will never give you happiness. Because today you want this car, tomorrow you want you want a car. Because you feel, wow, everybody has a car, I need to have a car. So get some car. Once you get that car, then you start saying, this is very bumpy, this is not comfortable. I sat in my friend's car, Toyota Corolla, so I need that car. And you sit in the Toyota Corolla, then the guy who is driving the Mercedes Benz, he will laugh at you, he will judge you. So now you say, I need to get the Mercedes Benz. There is no end to it, right? You wear a watch to see the time, and then you see somebody wearing an Apple Watch. Oh, I need to get an Apple Watch. And then you say, I need to get the Rolex watch. There's no end to that materialistic aspect of it. You have to have some desires. There's no question about that. You have to have some desires. But that desires should not be like crazy, that you're crazy about those desires. So once you start realizing this happiness has to be from within, I think your personality just starts to change. I mean, so that is the hard part to get to that stage. But the path is all what I talked about so far. So it's not a one-day thing. It is something that happens over a period of time, and you have to change your mind as well. You have to change your mind.
I would like to add something. If it is acceptable, you can, at the end of it, you can say, the most sought after topic, especially for Swami's, how to spiritualize day-to-day life. Spirituality is not just in the temple or when you meditate or while doing japa or parayana. The spirituality is a process throughout the day. It has to run. I feel converting every moment of your life as a spiritual practice. That gives you a continuous happiness.
Correct.
So whether you're driving, hiking, talking, jogging, doing yoga, from everything you're deriving joy out of it. Even conversing with somebody in a very crucial time, say you started driving, somebody called, you could not avoid. What to do? I have to take. You're not with a negative feeling at all. Oh, he needs my help or something is required. That's why he's calling. Taking everything in on a positive note. And after completing it, you get a great satisfaction or maybe joy. That continuity of the happiness keeps you
Yeah. No, it's
always.
I'll tell you some of the simplest things, right? That everyone in this room.
Do you agree with this?
Yeah. 100%. 100% I agree with it. So, because what happens is the way the spirituality is start, and you can sit down by the way. Spirituality is start is you read these quotes and you think that you have to be some superhuman to become a spiritual person. No, it's not. I'll give you some simple techniques. How to start de-stressing, how to start bringing spirituality into our life on a daily basis. Normally what happens, you are in a class, you see your classmate getting bigger grades, doing well than you. The normal instinct of a human being is to feel jealous. This is the normal instinct. Instead of feeling jealous, if you start to think, what is it that he is doing to get to that level? What can I do to at least emulate what this person is doing? Right? So take the jealousy out. Because if you feel jealous, you are the one who is going to suffer. Because that guy doesn't even know that you are jealous. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚು ಪಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So take that jealousy out of your mind. This is simple. The second thing where I have seen people stressing out, people getting upset, is the expectation. Having an expectation. I help somebody, right? In class, you help somebody to do a homework, and that person doesn't even acknowledge you. He doesn't even say, hey, thank you for helping me, because of you I got good grades. So you are expecting that because I helped this guy, either he has to come and acknowledge or he has to help me next time. Don't even have that expectation. Think from your perspective, I am helping this person because it brings me joy. It brings me happiness. Not because that person deserves to be helped. It brings me the happiness. It brings me the joy. So then no expectation at all. Whether he comes and acknowledges you is fine. If he doesn't acknowledge, also it's fine. Arthaita. So that's the second thing. The third, if somebody helps you, just take one sentence and acknowledge them. Somehow, thank you so much for helping me with it. You do that. You don't expect others to do it, but you just do it. So these are some of the simplest where you change your mind from these simple things that brings us down to elevating us to the next level. Very simple things. Jealousy, the expectation, these are all normal human beings' behavior. It happens all the time. So our head into the spirituality, this is something you can apply on a daily basis. This is spiritual. Not having an expectation. This is Bhagavad Gita there, right? Krishna says this. I don't know the shloka, but I know it is there.
Karmanyevadikaraste.
Karmanyevadikaraste is different. Karmanyevadikaraste is do your job sincerely. Yeah, it's not a plan. Yeah, don't expect anything.
Don't expect anything.
Correct.
Ma phaleshu.
Ma phaleshu.
Kadachana.
That's it.
Ma karma phala hetu.
Mate sangostu kadam.
Adu sharanagati. Sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmama. Sarva dharman parityadya mamekam sharanam vrajata.
So these are some of the foundational basic things. If you start applying, that's when you are spiritual. That's when you start experiencing a different personality yourself. Okay. I think I know you guys have a lot of work to do. I can keep talking.
It was very resounding what I was telling you all these things. Do you agree with me? Yes. Whatever I have told all these days, some have taken seriously, some have taken casually, some have rejected, some have never cared. But the ideas are all same. So I was, as I kept hearing, so a conviction came what I told you. Because here is a person who has successfully grew in the corporate world, in the external world. So I live in the internal world or in a mud. So my growth measures in a different scale, on a different scale, and it cannot be measured. There is no scale as such. He also very wisely put it. What is your wealth? He says, circles are my wealth. Circle of group of people. Very, very meaningful answer. It is the people whom you have with you. It's the most valuable people. I recollect a very funny conversation which happened. One of our Swamiji, they know Swami Purushottam Maharaj. So he attracted so many people for his talks, for his bhajans, and many had personal relations. In a sense, they would come and ask, I have this problem. What shall I do next? I have anxiety, etc. Counseling in your country.
Language.
The language they say. So many were surprised. And also many people used to come give money to him. I said, whatever they have, they will keep. Immediately what one can possess? Money. So they used to give money. So many people thought that he had money. He has a lot of money. Wow. Why he should have money? Sri Ramakrishna has told, don't touch money. But this Swami, being a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he takes money. He keeps it, put it in the pocket. What kind of Swami is? These are the questions very common in the devotees' mind and even onlookers. Then he had a very, very good humorous way of answering. Really, see, it is left indelible impression on my mind. And even today, they are very natural tools. So he used to say, you look at when I receive and I put it in my pocket. Next, where it goes, you don't see.
Yeah.
That's why you have this question. I give it to people needy, who need money, who need food, who need education, who need shelter, etc., etc. But how can I say that I did this, I did this, I did this? I cannot boast because my life is dedicated for seva. I live for it. I'm supposed to do it. I'm doing it. So the one way of telling that I'm not misusing or I'm not having money. The second way, second question I asked, How do you get so much money? I think you have money. That's why you spend. So very interestingly, he said, see, I don't have money in my pocket, but I have people who have money in my pocket. ನನ್ನ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಂತ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಣ ಇರೋ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. That is B V Jagadeesh. So he has money and he has people who has money, and he very nicely, wisely presented, I have circles of people. That's a very nice way of presenting. I enjoyed it very much because ultimately people are the most important. Today what we say, HR. Keep shouting. It is man who makes money. Money doesn't make man. It is man who gives value to the money. Money cannot give value to the man. Do you agree with me? So he may work 1,000 crores. Unless he values that, it has no value. We may value, but if he doesn't value, that is zero. It has no value. So man is important, not money. So these are the ideas very nicely he put, and in a very casual way he spoke. You see, he is from the Silicon Valley. There will be a certain amount of fixed body languages and way of communicating. But you find truly an Indian talking with Indian, speaking with the Indian attire, Indian fashion to the Indian mind, but conveying the profound success story, the success line, and in a very simple way. I really liked him, liked his ideas. I'm sure, rather, he has enforced my thoughts. Whatever I have shared with you all these days, he has endorsed it. So he has made my job easy. So thank you. Thank you for listening, because now I'm sure what I have told is and he has reinforced it. So thanks for your valuable time, Jagadeesh. So those who stays short. Next week we are playing back to US, but still you took out time for advice. I thank on behalf of all these students, and I pray to Ramakrishna Chakradevi Vivekananda bless us.
प्रियतां पुण्डरीकाक्षः सर्वयज्ञेश्वरो हरि तस्मिन् पुरुषे जगत्कृष्णं प्रेणितं जगत् हरि ओं तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।